Hello everyone. Now we are going to see classes and objects in Python. Objects are nothing but any real world entity which are physically existing or which may be physically not existing also and which are virtually assumed. And collection of objects is called as a class. For example, if in a class 50 students are present, the entire class is called as a class here, and all the students are considered as objects, and each object will have some specific attributes or properties which we use here as a member variable. And now we will see how this can be done in Python. The first thing we have to do is create a class definition. So this is the class definition, and the class definition should start with the keyword class. Everything is in lowercase letter class and followed by the class name, which we can give by ourselves. And the general guideline for the class name is the first letter should always be a uppercase letter. You can give any letter, but this is a standard guideline to be followed, and followed by colon. And within this class definition you can write any statement. It can be declaration of variables or definition of the functions. In this example we have just used the variable, and after the class definition with the same indentation we have to first create an object. This is an object creation step, or otherwise we call it as an object instantiation. We call it as instantiation because we are creating an instance of the given class sample. Instance is nothing but an object. So we are creating an object called O2. Now this is our instance or object, and the syntax is object name equal to the class name followed by this parenthesis. And here if we have any arguments we can pass. In this program we don't have any arguments to be passed to the function, so we are just giving the empty parenthesis. Now if this statement is executed, the memory for the member variables will be automatically created. And here in this example we have given a class variable. Class variable is nothing but this is common to the entire class. In the sense, suppose if we create multiple objects to the same class, no object can claim this member variable for itself. This is a class variable, and hence this is stored in a separate memory and can be accessed by all objects. And if we are printing o1.a, we cannot directly print a in this main function. In the main function we can access this variable a only with the help of this class object. So it belongs to this class sample, and an object is o1 is created for this class, and we can access using o1.a. Since we execute this program, so we will get this as 10 and 10. So suppose if it is a member variable or class variable, so we have to access using the corresponding object name or class name. If it is a member variable we can access using the object name, and if it is a class variable we can access using the class variable. With class variable a equal to 10, and this is the member function of this class, and we are creating an object o1 equal to sample. This variable o1.a is being printed, and then this function p is being called with reference to this object o1.p. Whenever there is a function defined inside this class, we have to call that function only with the help of the object. So o1.p, even though for this function we don't have any arguments, always whenever we are defining the functions inside the class, the first argument should be self. Even though no arguments are present, the first argument should be self. This is meant to just satisfy the compiler that this refers to the current object through which we are calling this particular function. So all the member variables that we are using inside this function will belong to the object o1. It belongs to itself. That is the meaning of this self. We can use any keyword, but it is the common standard to always use this self. And inside this function we are displaying just in class method. So this print statement display the value 10, and o1.p, this takes the control here and it will display in class method. Next important concept is constructor. in Java or C++, we have the class name as the constructor name, but here we have an inbuilt function called underscore underscore init again underscore underscore. This is an inbuilt function which is automatically called when the object is created, and this should be the first function inside the class definition. This is the object instantiation step. O equal to sample of 10. So an object named O is created and we have an argument 10 here. So 10 is passed here. So by default, self is the first argument. So it should be given comma val. This val variable will take the value 10. And whenever we are passing some formal argument to the constructor function or any other function of the particular class, we have to first assign it the member variable. We have to assign it to the object. Only then we can use this variable in some other functions. Otherwise, we cannot access this variable outside this init function. In order to do that, self.x equal to val. That means self represents the current object O. So separate memory will be allocated for the object O, and O.x will be now having the value 10. The scope of this variable val will not be outside this init function. It will be valid only within this init function. So first we have to assign it to the member variable x. So that is what we have done here, and now we can use it in any other function. And print self.x. Now it can be printed. In the second execution, we have created another object O1 and now we are passing the value 20. So this 20 is being passed as argument to this, and self.x equal to val. In this case, O1.x equal to 20. So again, if we are displaying this self.x for the second object instantiation, this init function will be called and 20 will be displayed. For all the object creation, this init function will be called individually, and the arguments that we are passing from this object instantiation step will be assigned to the corresponding member variable. Let us see some difference between class variable and instance variable. So first we have created x equal to 0. This is a class variable. All the variables that we are defining inside the class definition but outside any function is called as a class variable. Always it is common to all the objects, and we can access this class variable only with the help of the class name. And def init, this is the constructor, and this constructor will be called whenever we are creating an object. O1 equal to sample of 10. So we are creating an object. This 10 is passed here. Self.y equal to val. So O1.y will be assigned with this 10, and sample.x equal to sample.x plus 1. Plus equal to means equal to and plus or both combined. So sample.x already contained the value 0 and 0 plus 1. This is actually used to count the number of objects which we have created in our program. Since x is a class variable, we have access to this x using the class name sample. So sample.x will be incremented by 1, and now it will have the value 1. Print self.y comma sample of x. If we run this program, first time the value 10 will be displayed, self.y. That means O1.y will be displayed, and sample.x. Now x contains the value 1. The second object is now created, O2. 20 is being passed as argument, and self.y equal to val. In this case, O2.y equal to 20. So we have displayed this, and sample.x equal to incremented. So sample.x is already 1, so 1 plus 1, 2. So now this contains the value 2. This keeps track of the number of objects which we have created during our program execution. And O3 equal to sample of 3. Third object is being created, its y value is displayed, and again this x is incremented to 3. Till now we have created 3 objects. So this program actually finds whether the given number entered is even or odd. First, we have opened a class definition. The class name is sample. Inside this, we have defined 2 class variables, even and odd, which are both lists. If it is an even number, it will be added to this even list, and odd means it will be added to the odd list. So it is common to all the objects. That is why we have created them as class variables, and this is the init function which will be called automatically when the object is created. First we are creating the object O1. O1 equal to sample of 23. This 23 is passed to this init function, which is automatically called, and this self.num equal to num. Whenever we are passing a local variable as an argument, it has to be first converted into member variable. This num will be assigned to the member variable using the statement self.num. Now this means that O1.num will be having the value 10. It should be done compulsorily, else this num will not be accessed outside this init function. It becomes a local variable otherwise. In order to access this num variable, this 10 outside the function, it has to be assigned to the member variable, and member variable will be created only like this, self dot. And if num mod 2 equal to 0, it has to be checked. Here in this case, we can directly give self.num or num, both are equal, because this is the function which contains this local variable, and in this case it will work fine. If 23 mod 2 equal to 0, condition false, it will come to the else part, sample dot odd dot append of num. Now this 23 is appended to the odd list. Actually, this odd list is a class variable, and hence the class variables should be accessed using sample dot odd. That means class name dot that odd list dot append of num. Now this add will contain the value 23. Next, we are creating another object O2. Now this 34 will be passed to this init function, and it is now assigned to this member variable. Only if we assign this to self.num, it can be accessed with reference to object, otherwise it cannot be accessed outside this init function. So now we are again checking the condition. This condition is true, and hence now this 34 is appended to the empty list even. Even list now will contain 34 and odd list will contain 23. Next object O3 is created, 45. It will check the condition, else part will be executed, and this 45 is appended to odd list. Odd list already contains the value 23. For the next element, 45 will also be added, and 54 will be appended to the even list. 66 will also be appended to the even list, and we can display the output sample dot even. Since both are class variables, we can display using the class name sample dot even and sample dot odd. This sample dot even will contain all the even numbers, and odd will contain all the odd numbers. Similar to constructor or init function, which instantiates or create objects, we have a destructor function, which we have this inbuilt function underscore underscore del underscore underscore. This will also be automatically called when we call this function. So del object name. If we want to delete an object, we have to just give this statement del and the corresponding object for which we have to delete, and this function should be defined inside the class definition. It will be automatically invoked when the object is no longer to be used in our program. See, let us see how this can be done. Class sample, we have a class variable, and init function which contains the initialization O1 equal to sample of 10. This init function is called, 10 is being passed, and self dot y equal to 1. Now this O1 object will contain the member variable y, and its value will be 10. Sample.x equal to sample.x plus 1. So that means it will display the value first 10, 1, and for the second object creation it will display 20 and 2. And del O1, this is the syntax to delete the object manually. Del O1 means this function will be called. This is the destructor function, and this is an inbuilt function. So underscore underscore del underscore underscore, and for all the functions as usual the argument should be self. Here we can display the element is deleted. So otherwise, if you want to have, you can just display the value also. Say the element deleted is comma self dot y. Element is deleted is 10 and the next element deleted is 20. So likewise also we can specify the value. So this is called by using this statement. And we have some other special methods also. In addition to this init and del function, init is your constructor function which initializes the object, underscore underscore repr underscore underscore length and compare. For example, I am creating an object O1 equal to sample of Devi comma 35. Now this is being passed to this init function and self dot name will be the Devi, self dot var will contain the value 35. Now I'm just going to display this repr of O1. This function is being called. These are all inbuilt functions. So all the inbuilt functions will be given with two underscores before and after. So it returns the string representation of the object. Actually, var is an integer value which contains 35. But if we want to convert this into string representation, this is the syntax. Return repr of self.var. Self.var will now take the value 10 and that will be converted into string and we'll get the result. And if we just execute the program, we have the output like this. Let us see how the output is obtained. Next, name length stored in object. So length of the object can also be obtained by using this length function. So len of self dot name. So actually len is an inbuilt function which is already available to just calculate the string length. That is being called and we can calculate the length. So the string length equal to 4. So Devi has 4 characters and hence length equal to 4. And we are comparing another object. We are creating another object O2 equal to sample of Bhaskar comma 35 and in this example second object is created and the values are being initialized equal to O1 dot underscore underscore CMP underscore underscore O2. So this will actually store the comparison result and it will call this function. This function will take the object O2 as argument. So this will be passed as an argument and we are calling this compare function using the object O1. So inside this we have self dot var minus object dot var. Self dot var represents the object 1 dot var 35 and this O2 dot var will be assigned to object dot var and it will be 35. If both results are equal, so it will be assigned to 0. I will have the value 0. Again we are checking the condition. If I equal to 0, it prints equal. Else if I greater than 0, first value is greater than second. So all the conditions are given and in this case both values are equal and hence we have 35. Suppose if it is 37, now if we compare and execute, first value is less than the second. That means 35 is less than 37 and hence we will have a negative value. This first value is less than second will be printed. This is how these inbuilt functions are used. We have one more important concept, get item and set item methods in class. If we run this program, we get the output like this and let us see how this is obtained. Class numbers, a class is defined. We have an inbuilt function in it and inbuilt functions get item and set item. First O1 equal to numbers of 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. We are passing a list to the constructor. Object O1 is being created and for this object my list is passed as an argument. That means the entire list which contains the values 1 to 9 will be passed as argument to this my list and self.mylist equal to mylist. Now this is assigned to the object. So O1.mylist will contain the entire list. Next, get item is used to get or retrieve the value specified in the given index. That is the purpose. O1 of 7 means this function get item will be automatically called and 7 is passed as index value. And what will be returned from this function? Self.mylist of index. This is just like indexing operation, but this is done using the get item inbuilt function. Mylist of 7. So in the mylist function, so what is the value stored in the index 7? It is 8. So 8 will be returned and printed here. 8 will be returned to this print statement and gets printed. Next, O1 of 3 equal to 10. This set item is used to assign some value to the already specified index position. Now we are going to store the value 10 in the third index position of the object O1. And if we give this, the set item function will be automatically called. If we don't have set item and get item, automatically this will be done like our normal indexing operation. But if we give this inbuilt function, this function will be called and the assignment or retrieval process will be done only inside this function. In this self comma index comma val, this index 3 will be passed as the second argument and val 10 will be passed as the third argument. Inside this we are assigning self dot my list of index equal to val. That means my list of 3 equal to 10. In this index position 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 will be replaced with 10 and now this will be our updated list. And if we print O1 dot my list, we have the output like this. So get item is used to retrieve the value stored in the specific index and set item is used to store some value in the given index. And one more important concept in class is public, private and protected. They are called as access specifiers. By default, if we don't specify anything before this variable name, it is public and hence this public variable can be used throughout your program. Whereas if we give it as private, it can be used only within the class definition of the same class and it cannot be accessed outside the class. Public means it can be accessed throughout the program and private means it can be accessed only in the immediate derived class. This class sample contains a constructor function, then a display function. O1 equal to sample of 20, 30. An object is being created which has the value 20 and 30. Self dot var1 equal to var1. So now this is a public variable self dot var1. Self dot underscore underscore var2 equal to var2. That means this is a private variable. Underscore underscore, if it is given before the variable name, that means it is a private variable and cannot be accessed outside this class. Equal to var2. So 10 will be stored in var1 and 20 will be stored here. And the next statement is o1 dot display. In this o1 dot display, self dot var1 is being displayed. Okay, no problem. And self dot underscore underscore var2. Whenever we are giving a variable, after declaration also, whenever we are accessing the member variable, it should be accessed with the proper access specifier. That is why it is given as underscore underscore here also. Wherever we are using inside the class definition, it should be like this. And if we execute this program, we have the output. For this o1 dot display, 20 and 30 will be displayed. Next, o1 dot var1. This var1 is belonging to this object O1 and since it is a public variable, it can be directly displayed. 20 is being displayed. And just execute this O1 dot underscore underscore var2, we will get an error because var2 is a private variable. Sample object has no attribute var2. Even though it is here, but we cannot access this since it is a private variable and hence this statement should not be given. Instead, if you want to still access var2 in the main function, that means to access the private member variable outside the class, you have to give this object name dot underscore before this class name, then specify the class name, underscore underscore var2. Now you will get the output as 30. So this is how the private member variables can be accessed outside the class if needed. Otherwise, they are usually kept private. You can call a class method from another method. Suppose in this class we have init method, then we have a display function, then add function. We are creating an object O equal to sample of 10. So what happens here? This is being called and O object will now have the value 10. Then display function. Inside this display function, we have the value displayed, but using the object created, we have called only the add function. So add function will be called self dot var equal to self dot Already it has the value 10, so 10 plus 2, 12. 12 is being stored in this variable, and we are calling the function display from this add function. We can call a method from another method. So self.display is actually a member function of this same class. Hence, we are calling using self.display. Now, this will be called automatically and the value is displayed inside this display function. We have the output as 12. Class method calls a function defined in the global namespace. This add function is defined outside the class. Now we have a class definition, class sample, which contains two methods. O equal to sample of 10. What happens here? An object O is created with the value 10. Now O dot display. O dot display will display the value. Then def modify of self. O dot modify self dot var equal to add of self dot var. For storing the value in this modify, we are not directly storing the value. Instead, we are calling this add function from here. This add function is actually outside the class definition, which is in the global namespace. So add of self dot var. So this 10 will be passed as argument to this function, and here it will be 10. Return x into 10. 10 into 10, 100 will be returned in this position, and that will be again stored in this variable var. Now let us see what happens. We get the output as 100. The original value is 10, and after this function is being called, now this is modified to 100. Suppose in some cases we need to dynamically add variables to the class definition. That can also be done. In this example, def init self.var equal to var and then O equal to sample of 10. An object is created, no problem. Then it is being displayed. Again, O dot new underscore var equal to 20. It means that a new member variable is being created for this object O, which has the value 20. And if we print, that will be printed. And if you want to again modify the variable, that will be displayed. So 20 will be displayed, and again this 30 is updated, and hence 30 is updated. Now this O object will have two member variables, var and new var. This program has inbuilt functions to check, set, get and delete class attributes outside the class definition. The class sample is being defined, which contains init method and display method. We are creating an object O with the value 10 being assigned to the member variable var, and we are displaying the object. So no problem, and when we run this program, we get the output as 10. That variable is being displayed. Next, we have an inbuilt function has attr. This will return true if the particular object has a variable named var. This object O already has a variable named var. This is the variable, member variable, and hence it will return true. The next statement has attribute of O comma v. It will check whether the object has a variable named v. There is no object with the variable v. So, and hence in this case it will return false. So for the first var it will return true, and for the next has attribute function call it will return the value false. Next, print of get attr of O comma var. It is just like it is going to display O dot var. So this is the meaning. The member variable var, which is belonging to the object, has to be get and display. This get attribute will automatically retrieve and display in the output. Next, set attribute of O comma var comma 50. So this is like setting O dot var equal to 50. That means we are going to initialize or assign 50 to this member variable var belonging to the class O. That is the purpose of set attr. This is an inbuilt function. Next, if you are going to display O dot display, so it will display the value that we have. Then set attribute of O comma var comma 10. Now we are going to update the value of o dot var. Now this o dot var is being updated to 10. So this is an updation process. And if you just give o dot display, now it will display the value as 10. Before it is 50, and for this current print statement, after updation, that means after setting the value to 10, so this will be updated to 10. And again, we can delete the attribute. Suppose if you have many member variables or many attributes for the object, if you want to delete one specific attribute, del attr of o comma var. This means that it deletes o dot var. That is the understanding. And the last one, built-in class attribute. So first, inside the class definition, we have given the function documentation, then init method and display method. O equal to sample of 10, 25. An object is being created with two member variables, var1 and var2. O dot display, that is being displayed, and if we run the program, we get 10 and 20.5 displayed. Then print of o dot underscore underscore dict underscore underscore. This function actually displays the member variables and their corresponding values in the dictionary format. So var1 has the value 10 and var2 has the value 20.5. That is displayed in this dictionary format as key value pair. Next, o dot underscore underscore doc underscore underscore. This returns the documentation string. So the documentation string is always given in the beginning of the function within triple quotation. So inside this we have Python. So this statement actually displays the value Python. Next, print of sample dot underscore underscore name. So this means that class name. So what is the class name? Actually, sample is the class name, and again this sample will be displayed. And print of o dot underscore underscore module. Underscore underscore module means in which module this object is belonging to. This object o belongs to the module main. This is belonging to the main module, and hence this main is displayed. This main is an inbuilt function, and hence underscore is displayed before and after this main. Next, sample dot underscore underscore basis underscore underscore, which represents the class and object. That means it is a class object. Sample has the object and that base format is being displayed. Now we will check whether a person with the given date of birth is eligible to vote or not. Whenever we are using the date of birth or date format, we have to import the module date time. Then class person. Person is the class name which has inbuilt method in it. Then display function, check function. P1 equal to person of Priya, comma date time dot date of, this is the date of birth. Now an object is being created which is P1, and what are the arguments that are being passed? Priya is passed to name and date of birth. This date of birth is not directly given. It has to be converted into the right format. So 1983-82. So this is the year, month and date that has to be converted into date format, and again it is present in this module date time. So now this will have the right format. Now we are passing this to this date of birth function. This format has to be converted if we want to apply the inbuilt functions which support this date and time operations. So name Priya will be initialized to this member variable safe.name, and date of birth will have this 1983, 8 and 2. Now we are displaying this. If we run this program, we have the output. So this is the format of the date time which we have converted. Now we are going to check whether he is eligible to vote. Today equal to date time dot date dot today. Today is the inbuilt function which extracts the current date and time, and that will be present in the date module of this date time module, and hence today will contain the entire thing. And age equal to today dot year minus self.dob.year. So today dot year means now if it is 2021, this 2021 will be taken, and minus self dot this object dot dob dot year. So from this particular date, from this 1983 8 to this particular year alone will be extracted and that will be subtracted. So if it is 18 or more, then he is eligible to vote. If it is less than 18, then it is not eligible. So that is why we are specifying. If we are giving it as 9, now this person is not having the age 18. That means if we subtract both the years, we will not get the value 18 and hence this else part not eligible is being displayed.